Welcome back to Bazaar Morning Call. After a steep 130-point slide that we saw on Friday on the index, all hopes are of a pullback today. But whether that lasts or whether it gets sold into, only time will tell. For now, the SGX Nifty is indicating a big bump-up opening. It also officially kickstarts the earnings season this week. So lots to talk about. Our research team is here to give you the list of top 10 stocks. Asian Paints tops the charts this morning. Mangalam will tell us why. Mangalam, good morning.
Good morning. So the reason why Asian Paints is on my list today is because the company has gone ahead and continued to turn the heat on potential competition. You know, Jefferies had recently put out a note saying that Asian Paints versus Grasim was the emerging rivalry of 2022. Let's see what happens, because the company has gone ahead and announced a 2,000 crore rupee capex plan. They will set up a new water-based plant facility in MP, and the expected capacity of that plant would be close to around 4 lakh kiloliters per annum, which is about 23% of their current capacity. This is over and above a near 7,000 crore capex that the company had planned in the previous quarter itself, but that was with regards to backward integration. The company said that manufacturing will complete in 3 years after they complete their land acquisition. So higher capacity coming in, competition here. See some green on Asian Paints.
Okay, all right, Mangalam, thanks a lot for that. Well, I'm focusing on Tata Steel, and they've come out with their operational update. Well, the India deliveries, they're up by close to around 7%, which is pretty good. But both the other geographies, whether it's Europe and Southeast Asia, that's Thailand, both of them were down by close to 9%. What do we derive from this? The India business, well, it's higher on a year-on-year basis, and that's driven by domestic demand, which is high by around 11%. Remember, exports were still in a spot of bother for the past quarter, so domestic demand continues to remain strong. Europe, well, it looks weak, but at least on a sequential basis, it's up by close to around 5%. So I'll read that positively as well. And Neelachal Ispat, that's NINL, that was acquired. They've commenced operations, and the management says that, you know, they're on course to move to that targeted 1 million tons out. Let's see how soon they get there. But I'm expecting the stock to open up in the green.
All right, Nigel, thanks very much for that. Back to Mangalam on, a few other sort of updates, Titan and Kalyan Jewellers this time. Mangalam, over to you.
Well, for Titan, there has been a fair amount of resilience this time around. I mean, the overall sales of the company grew by about 12%, store additions at 111. Some would have liked the store additions to be a little more, but, you know, jewelry business growing 11% on a base of 37% tells you that the 2-year CAGR has been well over 23%, and quarter on quarter as well, it has grown 24%. The company said studded jewelry has done better, so that's good for their margins, and they've added 22 new jewelry stores. Other businesses as well. I mean, we were talking about sarees just the same time last quarter. That business has grown 150%, fashion and fragrances around 39%, whereas momentum continues in watches and other businesses for them as well. Carat Lane studded ratio of 75%. Kalyan Jewellers too, on a much lower base than Asian Paints, has grown than Titan, has grown at the same pace as Titan. 13% overall growth, 12% growth in their Indian business. They too have seen gross margin expansion and studded share expansion. They've added 5 new stores, most of them in the non-South market. So see green on both these stocks.
Okay, thanks a lot for that. So all that glitters is gold. HCL Tech is also in focus. So let's go across to Rima to find out why she's watching that one. Rima, morning.
Hi, thanks so much for that. So HCL Tech seems to have won a pretty large deal because it's a deal from a company called ODP Corporation. It's listed on the NASDAQ, and HCL Tech has been selected to provide end-to-end IT services and enterprise digital transformation. So HCL Tech has been selected as the primary IT services company for this company, ODP Corp, which is a big company. It's listed on the NASDAQ. But I think focus is going to be on earnings. It's TCS today and HCL Tech on 12. But nonetheless, it appears to be a big deal. Size is not quantified. We don't even know if it's a multi-million dollar. But considering it's an enterprise-wide digital transformation, end-to-end IT services, it could be a pretty large deal for HCL Tech. Back to you.
Oh, okay, all right, Rima, thanks for that. Well, let's hop across to Surbi. She's joining to tell us about some more stocks that are in the news. Morning, Surbi.
Morning, Nigel. So the first one is IDBI Bank, where multiple expression of interest have been received for the strategic divestment of government and LIC stake in the company. Sources to Money Control say that potential bidders who've expressed interest is Emirates NBD, Fairfax Group and CVC Capital. The transaction will now move on to the next stage. Next is Bandhan Bank, where they have released their Q3 update, where the deposits saw a growth of 21% year-on-year and was up 3% sequentially. Gross loan growth, that was at a 3-quarter low, up 14% year-on-year. The CASA is declining rapidly and is down 3.5% year-on-year and 8% sequentially. The CASA ratio has seen the highest decline seen by any lenders, 36.4% versus 46% same time last year. Retail deposits are up 3% and bulk deposits are up 139%. And lastly, I'll also be watching out for Paytm, where the Paytm Payments Bank receives RBI approval to appoint Surinder Chawla as the MD and CEO. The appointment is for 3 years and will be effective post-completion of regulatory requirements. Back to you.
All right, thanks a lot for that. So lots to talk about. Let's also now go across to Sonal. She has some more stocks that she's tracking in the news. Sonal, over to you.
Good morning, Sonia. Let me start with Phoenix Mills. Quarter 3 operational update. They have reported that, and it looks like a good set. They have surpassed pre-COVID levels in terms of consumption in quarter 3 in all the months, and it's way above that level as well. October consumption at 983 crore rupees, which is 134% of October 2019. That is pre-COVID levels. November 2022 is 130% of pre-COVID levels. In December as well, 122% of pre-COVID levels. Even occupancies in their hotels, a sharp improvement on a YOY basis as well. So in St. Regis, in the last 3 months, it was between 79 to 84%, and in their hotel at Agra, it was between 76 to 80%. The next stock that I'm watching out for is Biocon, because there is some negative news here, because the US FDA has issued complete response letter, or CRL, for biologics license application for Insulin R product, which was filed by Biocon Biologics, and it cites that there is additional data required for this particular submission. The expectation of satisfactory implementation of corrective and preventive action plan is also required by Biocon, and this is pertaining to the pre-approval inspection of Bengaluru facilities in August 2022. The company says that yes, they are in process of comprehensively addressing this particular CRL. However, the impact, of course, is negative because it means the set of queries and further information is required, which could mean delay in the approval timeline, and this could be a setback for the company.
Okay, thanks a lot for that. Sonal, Surbi and the entire team, thanks for giving us an update on all that we need to watch out for today. Here's a quick recap in case you missed it out. Stocks with positive news flow, there's Asian Paints, Tata Steel, Titan, Kalyan Jewellers, HCL Tech, IDBI Bank, Paytm and Phoenix Mills, while stocks with negative news flow, there's Bandhan Bank and Biocon. But as we've been telling you earlier as well, the big positive for our markets is the fall that we've seen in crude. Brent crude is now below $80 a barrel. Manisha Gupta joins in for a roundup of all the action overnight. Manisha, good morning.
Morning, Sonia. Thank you for that. Well, yes, even with a bit of a gain that we are seeing in the Asian markets right now, crude oil prices still are trading below $80 a barrel. There are a couple of supportive factors, though. One, there is prospect of less aggressive U.S. monetary tightening as the markets are reacting to the U.S. non-farm payroll data that came in on Friday. The second is the decline in U.S. dollar index yet again. And then there are hopes of demand recovery in China. So it is supportive for the crude oil prices, which are trading in the positive right now. But not just crude, you have the precious metal prices now inching up. So gold is at a 7-month high. You have metal prices trading firm as well. Decline in US dollar, expectation of lower rate hikes in Feb, and also decline in inventories for many of these metals continue to support prices. So yet another positive day in Asia for all of commodities.
All right, Manisha, thank you very much. And we'll keep coming back to, of course, commodities in a big way a little later on the program. The big macro story from Friday, right? I mean, Friday was all about data, both global and local. In local data, the government expects GDP growth to slow to 7% in FY23. Lata is here with a quick editor's take on how we should interpret and look at this data point. Lata is here. Lata, good morning.
Good morning.